right. Hello and welcome. How's everyone doing on what I hope is a fantastic May 13th? My goodness. Jeff, how you been?
Zog.
What? I'm assuming Zog and disappearing has something to do with today. Um, but I have no idea what's going on. So we're gonna do my best to move forward. Hopefully, I don't know. Okay, so last time Jeff did something like this to me was the one with Jack the Ripper episode, and he was committed to it the full time. So okay, there you go. I'm like, I don't know how long this is gonna go on. This could be the entire intro, and you could just pop back in out of nowhere in the middle of the episode, and I'd never know.
I'm just having a little fun.
Uh, I'm assuming that if I don't know what that is today, hopefully sometime soon I will be learning what this reference is.
Is a distinct possibility.
And Thomas wants to know, don't I mean May the 14th? I don't.
No, actually, Thomas, I can assure you it's May 13th. This would have been my mom's birthday.
Oh, my condolences. And
Well, thank you. Thank you. I know Anna's out there, and I want to say I love you.
to me?
No, Anna.
Oh, yeah,
Anna.
That makes a lot more sense.
Anna's out there. Anna's out there.
And I saw Josh was asking, am I going to remember what my prediction was last time? And the answer is no. No, I don't. Oh, and Anna's saying she loves you too, Jeff. That's nice.
I see that. And I know. And Thomas says that I do love you, Matthew.
I'm a lovable guy. I should hope so.
Well, yeah, although I don't love you the same way I love Anna.
I understand, and I'm glad.
I'm glad that you're glad. Texas
but no,
is saying they cannot believe he missed the last one.
Did you though? Because it's been a couple weeks, and before then it was a couple more weeks. So, I was doing a discipleship thing with one of the kids in the youth group, and it ended up putting a lot of weight on the front of my week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all of it booked up, and then nothing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so I had a condition where, I was in a position where it was just one thing too much going on. So I was falling a little behind in work, and I'm like, you know what? Let's stop. It's just 2 weeks, and then the book we're going through would wrap up. So that's why I've been off the past couple weeks, not doing the streams. Yes, I'm blaming a child. It is the way of Matthew. It may not be the right way, but it's Matthew's way.
We still love you.
Thank you. I hope so. But hey, it's done. I got my Monday nights back, and that gives me just enough breathing room so that I have Monday evenings to kind of get my week in order, instead of being like, okay, it's Thursday, time to get my week in order, and like, oh, hey, week's gone. So it was great. I love getting to do it, but if I get a chance to do this with another one of the kiddos, I definitely gonna do like an early morning Saturday, and that's kind of like a litmus test. You really want to do this thing? If the answer is yes, you're going to be willing to get up a little bit early on a Saturday instead of sleeping in. So we'll see what they say. And by a little bit early, I mean like 8. So super early for youth. But all things considered,
True.
like 8 on a Saturday, not that bad.
Thomas wants to know
did I
if you
misplace the
misplaced
kid?
Kid.
No, he could drive himself.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I was not responsible for this one. I'd meet up at a Chick-fil-A and um, we'd go through this discipleship book one chapter a week. And that's true, Melphasis. I would not be a Krogan if I didn't blame someone else. I actually,
that's a word I have not heard in a bit.
yeah,
Krogan.
now I got the national anthem in my heart. All hail to Kuroga, the land of Joloja. All hail to our leader, the great bird of prey.
I'm not going to sing it.
I actually okay. So recently they've been doing some memorial streams. I don't know if you're still subscribed to Bird of Prey or not, but on one of his channels, I think LDG sets them up. Um, I had to unsub.
Oh, did you?
I did. I miss Bird too. I miss him a lot. I did have to unsub though. It was just giving me whiplash to be like, what? Wait, what? And then like, oh,
Oh, I understand.
come on, Matt, keep up with reality. Um, but I that's why I was thinking about him recently too. Um, is there still a 24/7 bird stream?
Yeah, it's
Is
still
that what he's
going.
doing? Yeah,
Mhm.
I just
All his
I'm
old
glad for anyone
streams.
who likes to hang out and listen to it. But um, honestly, the thing I really loved about the Bird of Prey streams was being in it live and chatting, and him being like a
Yeah.
half hour behind the chat because he got distracted on some rant about stamps or whatever that triggered him that moment.
UPS.
Yeah.
UPS.
uh that was the fun thing of being in it with Bird. And just the restreams. Oh, that's true, Thomas. I could have just, well, it would be in my subscription feed, even when
It,
I
it would
turned off
still show up.
notifications. And there's one point where, like, on some Sunday, they did a wall of releases, like
Hmm.
60 or so videos, just all of a sudden, boom, in the feed. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here?
Somehow I didn't get those.
Okay, it may have been on his Bird of Prey 5X channel.
Well, I'm subscribed to that one too, so I don't know. I missed those, that massive notifications.
I I may at some point. Well, see, like I said, I like seeing it live, and there's not going to be any more.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of the bittersweet realities of life that his time here it ended, and yeah, I enjoy every once in a while. I'll go back to like the classic videos where he sat down and did a review of each episode every week of Star Trek Discovery. I'll watch
Talk about
those.
rants.
Oh yeah, because he'd just sit there, and there in the background, half mostly invisible would be a screenshot, or even maybe just a whole video going of the episode that week, and he'd just be describing it and going off. And oh, I love those videos. I love watching those old ones from Bird of Prey, the old ones from Nerd Fights, Salty Trekker. I whatever he goes by today, I have a hard time keeping up.
I know.
I've been enjoying
It's not
his
easy.
review. Yeah, he's gone kind of back to form with his Section 31 video.
I really haven't been watching them. I don't care about that show. I don't even want to see bad reviews.
There's one or two people that I enjoy watching for the reviews on stuff like that. Michael is one of them. There's a guy named Disperu. He does like
Don't know him.
he does Doctor Who stuff primarily, but every once in a while he'll jump over.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, he's British. It's something about the British, their dry humor. I love listening to just their dry wit and humor as they go off on any sort of media. And yes, just like how I go off topic and it'll take me 40 minutes before the episode starts, Josh. 100%. Um, I'm bad about it too.
Well, you're a quarter of the way there tonight.
But hey, it's been a minute since I've seen y'all.
That's true. Anna says Section 31 was insane, and she didn't get it at all.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
I heard it was very convoluted to the max.
You know, bless their hearts. The people they have writing for Star Trek right now are not science fiction writers. They're not even competent soap opera writers.
Ooh,
these are
that's
individuals. It is, but if you like, if you watch the episodes, and I mean this for like going back to Star Trek Discovery, everything written after Star Trek Discovery has suffered from the same extremely low quality in writing. And so I mean, and look, if you like it, that's fine. I like Minnie, a thing with bad writing. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I love Monty Python. You think that's well written? No, that's a collection of skits, and they are hilarious, and I love it. So there's nothing wrong with bad writing, but objective reality is objective reality, and it is bad writing. And even for the standard of bad writing we have today, Section 31 was especially bad. And I do feel like it's because it was supposed to be their usual 8-episode, 9-episode long season. And I think they had to cut it down to a quote unquote movie. And so you kind of miss some story beats that are obviously supposed to be there and they're completely missing. And so everything's like, why are they feeling this right now? Why are we concerned about this right now? You knock her out and then you go to a planet on the remote edge of the galaxy. Like what's going on right now even? Like clearly there's supposed to be something between these two scenes and we're lacking it. So it's understandable that you don't get Section 31.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I won't comment.
And
don't want to see it either.
Yeah, yeah, you're not missing anything.
That's what I understand.
Melphysys was saying that the only new Doctor Who she liked was Lux. Which one was Lux? Was that with the?
No, I haven't seen any of the last 2 seasons.
Was that with Cutie Gatwell? I think that's how you pronounce his name.
It is a Ncuti Gatwa episode.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That was the one with the moonlight hit a film reel and a character came to life off the silver screen.
Okay. Yeah, I heard about it. Don't want to see it. The only one I really have any interest of seeing, and I don't remember the episode, is the sequel to a famous David Tennant episode.
Yes.
I heard that was pretty good. It's the only one I have any interest in.
Going with an open mind. You know what?
Okay.
But okay. Yes, it is. Do you want to know which episode it's a sequel of?
Or I know what. I know what it's a sequel of. I've been spoiled there, and I don't care. I've been spoiled. I know it's. Well, I'm not going to say it unless you say it's okay to say.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It's Midnight. My favorite David Tennant episode.
Oh.
It was exquisitely good.
I miss not knowing anything about David Tennant. Because in real life, it turns out he's not that great a guy. But the acting ability he has and shows off in Midnight is top notch.
And it's a very Twilight Zone type episode. Very well done. We're losing Thomas fast.
It's okay. I'm gonna stick on this one, Thomas. I'm sorry. it is almost a bottle episode.
Oh
It
yeah, it
it
is.
it takes place entirely in one location. Well, two locations. So you have Donna, and she's at a spa resort, and you kind of check in with her at the beginning and the end of the episode, and she's just there by the pool. But then you have everyone else inside a windowless transport as they go to this viewing area of like most majestic thing you'll see in the universe, sort of thing. Yeah, how dare you spoil it, Jeff? How dare you? Um,
I don't care.
but but the entire thing, one small box, six actors, I think, including the doctor, maybe, maybe seven.
Yeah, that's about 7, I think.
Um, but just the entire episode,
9 if you
you're
count the
engaged.
conductors.
I guess I wasn't counting them. That's fair. Uh, so yeah, go ahead, watch it. I'd love to know what you think about the new episode and how well you feel like it
I might have to
legacy.
check that one out.
So, with that said, how about we wake up Thomas and we get this shindig going?
Oh, he's yelling at me. I think he's awake.
It's sleep yelling.
Okay.
It's one of those, kind of like sleepwalking. It's just an automatic response that happens.
Gotcha.
So let me transition scenes here, like so. And the way this works, welcome if you're new here, which I doubt, but hey, you never know. And if you are new and you managed to go through my opening ramblings, thank you. I appreciate that. But we do Babylon 5 weekly reviews here, where this is the first time I am ever going to see tonight's episode live with you. So these are my honest and genuine reactions, and you are more than welcome to come join us in the screening room, which is linked wherever your browser shows us linked in the chat. That is active only right now during this stream, and all it does is it syncs up our different watch times so that what I'm talking about is hopefully plus or minus a second or two of what you're seeing, as long as I'm not off on a rabbit trail about Doctor Who or Star Trek.
It does happen. Brace yourself.
It does. But that's just because Babylon 5 is so good, it makes me think of all the other great sci-fi I love, and it does my mind, yes, rabbit trails. If you're here in the future and you want to watch it as we're talking about it, I'm so sorry, but you can't go to the screening room. You need your own copy. And there are lots of ways to get it legally, and I recommend you just do one of them. You can watch, if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free with your Amazon Prime membership. It's there. I checked today because I was curious. They took it down for like a month. They lost licensing, had to get things worked out. But it's back
I
up
don't
if
think
you
it
have
was a
Amazon
month.
Prime. A couple weeks maybe?
Yeah, that's 2 or 3 weeks. That's weird.
Okay. Beyond that, there's places like Roku TV, I think it is.
Hey, you got it. You got it.
Yeah. And Tubi. I think Tubi still has it.
Yes, I just watched the episode tonight on Tubi TV.
Oh, excellent. Now with those two, you do have to watch it with commercials, which, not egregious. This is how it was made to be watched, technically.
True.
According to the story beat structure, hey, we're going to end on a cliffhanger. You're going to watch a commercial. You'll come back and get a recap. So great stuff. Or, and this is my personal favorite, you can buy the physical media. Absolutely. Go to wherever you can get your DVDs, your Blu-rays, go buy the physical media. Usually Amazon has them for around $80 for all 5 seasons, not the movies. I wish I was getting paid to say this, but I'm not. I just honestly believe for the price of, all your monthly memberships, all your different streaming services, you can just buy the physical media and never worry that Amazon took it down for a couple weeks. And is it coming back? We don't know, maybe, because you own it, and you own it in consistent, higher quality than what they can do on streaming because it's horribly compressed and they punish you, and it's a weird thing, and we're not going to get into it because we're already running late. running late. Like we're even on a time schedule. This
We're
happens
not.
whenever we want it to. So, but no, we'll keep moving. We'll keep moving. If you are here right now, you can't join us in the screening room, you don't have your own copy to watch, whatever it is, we got you covered. Once every 7 seconds, there's going to be a still image right here. There should be no sound. Please let me know if there is so I can get that fixed because I do not want to make anyone upset. But there's going to be a still image so that you have some sort of visual reference for what's going on as we're talking about it in the episode. So, with all that, I'm going to give you a quick 3 countdown. So if
Wait,
you are...
hang on.
Yep.
What about your prediction?
Oh, yeah. What was my prediction?
So you immediately thought this was going to be about Drawl because he's down on the planet and listening posts and people that he's aligned with sending out some orders for him. Conversely, you thought, well, there's a power vacuum on Narn, so maybe it's something with Jakar and his leadership. But then you thought, well, no, they already dealt with that, so it can't be about Jakar. So then you thought, well, this is going to be a more Earth-centric episode, centering on the Earth people. And there are 3 authorities right now. You got the president, who was the vice president, became the president because of the president dying. Psy-Corps is the second one, and then you got the underground movement that Sheridan is part of as the third. And you thought, well, you know what? This would be a Zach episode, caught in between all these opposing authority figures. He's not aware of Sheridan's faction yet, only aware of Sheridan's authority as captain of the station. He's caught between the Night Watch and Sheridan's authority. Central plot will be on whether he will report on some innocent remark that he has heard. Will he make the same compromise that he made earlier with the shopkeeper? Will he do it more easily this time? For him to have a good character arc, he must more easily make that decision to do that. And then you want to know when we're going to see Bester. Then you remembered his name is Buster.
Yes.
Or is it the other way around? I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's Bester. He's the best.
He is the best at being who he is.
I hope that's right. Because that's the
Alfred Buster.
I'm going to run with. Is it Buster?
I don't know. You tell us.
I can't. I'm going to stick with Bester. Yeah, Kay Roberts wants to know if it's okay to spoil about Kiefer's return. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. But I don't know.
Or does it? Oh.
We'll
Buster
see.
Chekhov, says Omni.
Yeah, after he got exposed to that radiation, he got psychic powers.
Hey, you never know. You never know. Psychic powers, it becomes part of the Psychic Friends Network with Buster.
Is it Dolores or Delenn? Well, obviously it's Dolores, and you will see that, I'm sure, in this episode. So let's go ahead and kick this off. I'm going to give you a 3 countdown if you need to sync up your physical media at home. And Jeff, I'm so thankful that you write that stuff down because I 100% forgot.
They were wondering if you'd remember.
Oh, no, not even. I was literally thinking, I really hope Jeff wrote this down or something because I got nothing. So let's do this. Let's see if you just told me his name. I've already forgotten. The Night Watch guy. Let's see if he is caught between 2 worlds. Zach. Buckle in, everyone. It's been a minute. 3, 2, 1. Hit that play button, everyone. Zach, good first sign. And so he's talking about how his clothing never fits right, which, yeah, he should have taken it to Garrick.
Right.
But fascinatingly, this is a real issue with military uniforms, like especially in the Air Force. They took all the measurements of the airmen that they had, and they created the average sized uniform, which fits absolutely no one. because no one has the exact average inseam or arm length or anything. And so it is a uniform which universally fits no one whatsoever.
Code 7R.
Strange.
Hmm.
And Zach looked a little suspicious about what 7R could mean.
He did.
He's like, I know the different things. What's going on here? So Dolores is bringing up the fact that there may be other allies that they haven't spoken to yet. That the war against the shadows has been this ongoing thing for millions of years, and maybe there's still one of them out on the galactic rim where none of us has ventured that we could reach. And Ivanova is saying, if that's true, if there's someone out there, why haven't we heard from them? And this is an interesting concept. At what point does a civilization become so advanced and they've been around for so long that they are effectively able to remove themselves from every issue going on in the galaxy and are just like, you know what? You guys work it out. There's literally no way for you to even interact with us. And our resource abilities are so high above yours that there is no resource you have that we need and no resource that we have that you can make use of. And thankfully, Dolores just mentioned that his name is Marcus because I was not going to remember what Strider's name was over here. Um, but he's an interesting character to me because we've only seen him once, I think, so far.
Right.
And he almost feels like a dig against the executives who made JMS create Kiefer last season. Kefir. Like, yes, I need a character like this. I'm not going to let it be the guy you made. I'm just going to kill him off and then make a new guy that's basically.
Look at there. It's Straw.
It is. And he's on board with them contacting one of the first ones. And Thomas is telling me don't get attached to Marcus, which might be a spoiler if I could remember people's names.
I wouldn't take anything Thomas tells you with much credence. He tries to fool you all the time.
Oh, he doesn't just try. He succeeds. And yes, Roberts, somewhere out there is the all-powerful Howard the Duck. Maybe someday we'll get a Marvel and Babylon 5 crossover event. They really, I know I mentioned this before, but they really amped up the music for this intro, this time around, for this season. Like they start off with just this, all the chords are against each other. It's really discordant. Is the right word, I guess. And then they get to the point where they're like, okay, yes, this is all the horrible things going on, universe in danger, but there's hope. And at that point, like the chords come together, the music starts working, and it's still a very war-driven sort of musical number, but it's now like working together instead of conflicting with each other.
I think the music fits the seasons that they're
Oh
in.
yeah. I was hearing an interesting thing. I don't know how much credibility I put into it, but someone was mentioning that George Lucas wanted the music for Star Wars to be such that Star Wars could be a silent film and it still works. And I saw
I
someone kind of work a little bit with it, where they were able to mute the dialogue track, just have the music for each scene, and then they actually converted it to black and white just to like complete the effect. And yeah, it decently works and still tells the story.
hmm,
But
very
to be
cool.
fair, I don't know how well I'd know the story if I didn't already know the story.
Yeah, there's that.
But Jarl has invited the captain down in four standard hours. Huh. Is the audio just ever so slightly out of sync?
No, not for me. Now
It
I've
may just.
noticed if you
Hmm.
go to a different window and come back, it'll do that.
So interestingly, it was just when they were far away, what they were saying didn't quite match up. And I wonder if
Hmm.
I'll have to go back and watch it, because it could be the streaming going on nonsense, and it could be just some production.
Well, let's see. You thought Draw would be in this. Well, he is.
Yeah.
And you thought it would be a Jakar episode. Well, there he is. Thought it would be a Zach episode. Well, Zach's been in this. Hmm.
To be fair, I also discounted most of my earlier guesses.
That's true.
The only one that really counts is Zach. And so he's been talking about how he knows that
Rangers.
she's been in a couple closed door meetings increasingly recently, and by the way, one more thing. What do you know about Rangers? And he's saying, sometimes these Rangers, I hear people talking about them, and sometimes they're talking about humans, and sometimes they're talking about Imbari. And you'd almost think that humans and Imbari were working together for something. And he says, thank you for your time, Delin. Weird, he gets her name wrong, but he's doing some sort of 4D chess with her, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And he says, since you can't help me, I'll just have to keep investigating this on my own. But I'll let you know what I find. And yes, Josh, no Buster or Bester. And so this lady, we saw her a couple weeks ago, I want to say, like in episode 1 of this season. So 2.
Oh.
Wasn't she the one that there's a guy who came and he was investigating the death of Kiefer, and then he went back and he reported to her, didn't he?
No, he was talking to a senator.
Was it at least a female senator?
It was.
Okay. I'm like, oh man, how bad did I get this wrong?
Yes, this is the first time we've seen her, Omni.
And Melphasis is saying no, it wasn't her as well. And oh, so she's going to be a political officer.
Mm-hmm.
That's a familiar sounding title.
Doesn't it now?
I want to say there's some other historical organization that had political officer. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I also thought she was someone else, so you can't trust my memory.
Well, it's been a few weeks, so
And Kate Roberts gives a Vorlon wink. And so
Thomas says
the kind
Piroga
of
had them.
yes, that's what it was. That's what it was. Uh, the crux of the issue going on right now is in one of the past episodes this season, there was a cruiser from the Narn, and Starkiller here was keeping it secret that they were getting repairs on from Babylon 5, and uh, there was a Night Watch member on his own bridge who let it slip. And so they relayed that information to the Ministry of Peace, and the Ministry of Peace relayed that information to the Centauri, who Earth has aligned with officially now.
In fact,
And
it
it
was the
created this.
season finale last year, the last season.
Oh, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so Starkiller tried to call their bluff. He said, "I'm sending out a, a regiment of Star Furies. Yep, Star Furies, and they're going to provide an escort for the Narn ship. And everyone's training up guns at everyone else, and the Centauri opened fire. And so, of course, Sheridan has to respond. He has to defend Babylon 5.
Sheridan.
Yeah, Sheridan. Did I say Sinclair?
No, you said Star Killer over and over.
Yeah, I was getting there. I was getting there. So Sheridan, he's defending himself. He thinks he's incapacitated the Centauri cruiser, and unfortunately, he done blown it up, and that has created some stress. And so they've mentioned several times that, okay, well, you're technically right in that moment. Everything you did leading up to that moment was wrong. Thomas, you are a genius.
He is.
He's saying I need to print out a cheat sheet on people's names. And did she just invite Zach overnight? Or
did she?
I missed the sentence leading up to everything except her coming back out and saying, "Well, are you coming?" And Zach clearly looking uncomfortable about this. But anyway, Sheridan is trying to say, yeah, he tries to say she has no business being there, that the Babylon 5 charter, something, something, something. And she says, yes, I've read it. She cuts him off. I've read it. Nothing about the charter says that you can't have a peace officer. And Ivanova nervous talking about how everything's a surprise to her. This place is a surprise. You're a surprise. This paper cut. To anyone else, it would be an annoyance, but to me, it's just another wonderful surprise.
He likes her. She's trouble.
And she says, "Thank you. It's the nicest thing anyone said about me in days."
So she's having dinner with Sheridan. So I don't think she asked Zach to stay overnight.
Hmm. And so she is very slick talker. Um, but she was saying that Earth would never align itself with a race that was set on war. And Sheridan points out, well, we signed a treaty with them. She goes, yeah, and that proves my point. A treaty, just a treaty. Which some would argue that a treaty is aligning yourself with a person you're doing some sort of treaty with, at least on some sort of level. Yeah, Joel, she's one slick talker. Knows how to use her tongue, sure. Silver tongue is the phrase you might be familiar with. And so this is actually a very common belief that it's very prevalent from what I remember in the 90s. I feel like it's a little less prevalent today, but some people still have it. Uh, where talking about the lurkers, the homeless individuals living downtown, uh, she talks about the only reason anyone would be a lurker is because they're lazy. They just don't want a job or they're mentally unstable. You know, it's their own fault, is what she's getting at. And she's claiming that Earth government has promised a job for anyone who wants it. So anyone who doesn't have the job is choosing to be jobless. So she's talking about how sometimes to deal with a problem you have to redefine it, which is an interesting point of view. Um, this is something that people really do a lot. They start off using a common definition, and you'll be arguing a bit against that common definition, and then they will switch to a alternative definition for what the subject is, and all of a sudden you'll be arguing against this alternative definition, which makes your point invalid. It's a very dirty way of doing an argument. It's a logical fallacy. I forget the technical name for that logical fallacy. But whenever you redefine something, um, and try and make it be like, well, even though all of history has understood that this is the definition of it, we now define it as this. It doesn't make things more clear. It just makes it intentionally ambiguous.
Matrix.
Oh, and so Drawl is saying, go ahead and plug yourself in the matrix, and she goes, it's occupied. And so he's returning to his uh, physical body. I didn't know he could physically disconnect. So I must remember to dust myself once in a while.
Well, the prior occupant disconnected himself.
Yeah, true. I mean, he died.
He did.
Like I thought by going into the machine, it was kind of a lifelong interconnectivity thing. So Droll tells her to open her mind, but whatever you do, don't stray from the path. And yes, Roberts, morality weakens when words lose meaning, which has a nice cadence to the sentence. So did we establish why Ivanova is the one plugging into the machine?
Sheridan was going to go down, but then he got stuck in the meeting, the dinner date, and he couldn't just ignore that dinner. So he had Ivanova go down. And she's looking for first ones.
And so these paths, which look suspiciously like Farscape's wormholes,
A little bit. Yeah.
are the
This
things that
came
connect.
first. This
Yep,
came
it
first.
did.
Sigma 957. Where have we heard that before?
That was early on. Uh, so the episode name had something with the name Lights in it. I want to say. Um,
Mind War.
It's the one.
Mind War.
Mind. Okay, the one where the captain's girlfriend at the time went to the planet, and we saw those light creatures.
Yep.
And she's saying something's wrong. Something's wrong. I'm not alone. Something sees her.
Thomas, they said some of them might still be around.
Those eyes light up patterns look just like we see in the intro with the shadow spiders.
Does it?
It looked similar. Well, now it's just the one eye.
It knows her name.
And now there's several of them. Two, three, four, five, six, seven in the back there. And she's able to break away and come back to the path. Now, Thomas, Avalon or Farscape was not Paramount. Farscape was a Canadian production. And so she's seeing a shadow. Okay, I was gonna say it seems like she's seeing an echo of the past,
She
where
is.
she's seeing uh, Air Force One. She's somehow seeing a shadow of what happened, and she's seeing a transmission that happened between the vice president and I don't think that was no, that was Rod Sterling's voice or discount Rod Sterling. Yeah, I mean, it was discount Rod Sterling's voice talking to the vice president there. And Droll is saying, I don't understand. A normal human mind shouldn't have been able to do that, which we know she's not a normal human mind. She is a psychic telepath.
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 Yes. Yes, Joel. She's lowercase or G God.
And she's claiming that her lock code was scrambled, and oh, I just had to come to Sheridan's place for a minute. And suspiciously, yep, there we are. I was going to say suspiciously, the camera has not focused on her at all while she is talking. And it pans back around, and she has quickly disrobed. And Sheridan is clearly uncomfortable.
Uh.
And then Ivanova sends a projection.
Eye roll.
And Sheridan.
Ivanova.
Sheridan has to cover it up by pretending to not be uncomfortable by this situation. I'm not sure what her goal is here, but it does make me wonder if she had invited Zach in earlier. Like, I'm not sure if she's going for just this is a way of like the honeypot trick, the like not Ivanova, Black Widow's character from Marvel. She was a honeypot character. Little slight on Star Trek there.
Not the first time they've done that.
So Ivanova says, good luck. I think you're going to go where everyone has gone before. And I do like that we're seeing that Jakar isn't a useless character at this point. That he is smart enough to see what's going on. And so he's saying it's interesting. I had a meeting with Ivanova. She's called off the last minute. It seems like there's a lot of last minute things going on all of a sudden. He's saying that he senses a gathering of forces that could help his people. And Garibaldi is saying that if there's anything I thought could help you or your people, I'd tell you. And it is interesting that they have not sought to bring in any of the Narn into their confidence.
Well, at this point, they don't have much to give, or so it would seem.
So she's she's saying when he goes to your union meetings, he must be a very skillful negotiator, because she's never seen anyone find so many creative ways to say no to a simple proposition. But Garibaldi's keeping an eye on her in the back there.
Just her? Ah,
Hmm.
there's our White Star. Haven't seen that for a few episodes.
I forget why, but I do remember that Ivanova is not a fan of Marcus. But unfortunately, she needs him. He speaks Imbari. And they set course for Sigma 957,
That's it.
the planet. And so she's saying that the new policy is that Earth Force personnel are prohibited by law from uh, criticizing the Earth government. And one of them asks, "Well, what about citizens?" Because well, you don't need to worry about that. You just uh, you just pass that information along. And Zach Allen, he is uncomfortable. He goes, "Well, what happened to due process?" And she's saying we've revised the rules of evidence to make things a little more flexible. You guys are all now an arm of the peace department, and that anyone who's talking against the government will be purged from their positions on charges of sedition.
It's like others are not comfortable with this either. Notice the poster in the background.
I did notice that, and yeah, I mean, I was just thinking the same thing. Some very striking, dynamic red posters. And she's saying it is the responsibility of every Earth citizen to keep Earth safe and ideologically pure. And so Ivanova, she's extremely antsy right now. And Marcos says, "How long has it been since you've had nothing to do?" And the clear answer is that it's been a long time, and she is uncomfortable with nothing to do. But whatever is going on, he thinks they just found them.
Oh, that
And I
looks
want to say that's
familiar.
not what I remember from the first time we saw these people. But we also know. Oh, there it goes. I was going to say the first time we saw them, uh, the lady's ship lost all power.
Right
Yeah,
on
let's
me.
hope. So she's saying that my name is Susan Ivanova. This is the White Star. We've come to find you. And the talking volcano head guy not saying a lot back. And she mentions the Vorlons, and it seems like they're extremely upset at that name. And yes, Joel, Marcus makes a joke. Maybe the Vorlons owe them some money. So she asks them to help, and they depart, presumably to think it over. And so Ivanova was somehow able to get a copy of this echo shadow thing she saw.
Draw could make a copy.
And yeah, so Garibaldi's bring up a great point. Like, yeah, the evidence we're looking for just walked in our front door, but we can't do anything with it. We can't release it ourselves. It's going to raise too many questions, and we're not going to have the answers for it. And they're saying that you can't fake this. There's this code on a channel, and for security purposes, there's no way to alter it. There's no way to fake it. Not even Garrett could pull it off. Well, I guess technically Garrett couldn't put it off either, but
Well, I think he didn't want to pull it off.
it's a fake. Zog. There we go.
There you go.
And Vanova's having my response. What do you mean Zog?
Pretty
Zog what?
much.
And Marcos is like, well, they're leaving. I guess Zog means no. And she goes, well, I'm not letting them leave until they say yes. And so she's insulting them. The Vorlons, they said you wouldn't be up for this. They said they carried you in the last war.
Oh, she got their attention.
She says, come to think of it, we got the Vorlons. We don't need much more help, do we? Yeah, I mean, don't mess with the first one, Susan. Margaret, I think you're making him mad. Mhm. So Zog, he's saying when it is time, come to this place, call our name, we will be here.
Good job, Susan.
And yeah, so we see that they exist not in phase with our space. It looks like it doesn't look like they're just going into hyperspace. So they've been able to release this information, and they say we're going to see if this information is legitimate or not. And Garibaldi is saying, and because of this unfortunate political situation, our new political officer has been recalled to Earth to deal with this situation. Uh, and so Zach is saying something. It must be fake. There's something wrong here. And Garibaldi says, "Oh, we'll see." And then Zach is like, "Is there something wrong between us?" And goes, "Yeah, there's something wrong. What were you telling her? Like I saw you had a secret meeting with her, and uh, we've worked together for a long time before you joined Night Watch, and all of a sudden you're with them." We see that Zach is being pushed toward the Night Watch side right now. He's saying, I've noticed that you've been doing a lot of things off the books. And Night Watch says the only people with something to hide are the only people who have anything to worry about are people with something to hide. So do you have something to hide? And Zach is saying, I know you're my superior officer and we have to work together, but for the rest of the day, just don't talk to me. I think we'll be happier. So interestingly, by keeping Zach out of the loop, which I mean they have to, they don't know what he's up to, but by doing it, it has pushed him toward the radicalization of the Night Watch. And she's saying, I won't be on long. This is just nonsense. This is the very nonsense I was warning you about. Uh, I hope you see now that I had a point. He goes, yeah. In fact, hey, have you heard of a code 7R? And she goes, no, why? He goes, well, I don't know. I thought maybe I heard it somewhere. So he's being pushed toward Night Watch, pushed and drawn, but he's not there yet. He's not all the way there. He says, eventually we'll find who did this, Mr. Allen, and they'll be punished severely, publicly, and permanently.
Hmm.
And Garibaldi trying to sleep, but someone's at his door. Will it be Zach? Ivanova? Daffy Duck?
Poor Garibaldi.
He trips over something. Lights low.
Did he just fall down? I think LDG fell out of his chair. Give us a thumbs up, LD. Let us know you're okay.
That's one of my favorite super chats. So yeah, Jakar shows up and he said, I told you I could help. And he hands him the Book of Narn. Or the book of Jaquan. And Garibaldi goes, I don't read Narn. Learn. And Garibaldi's like, he hates me. He hates me.
Everybody hates him.
And Tom is saying the donation echoed. Well, would it really be a Life of Matthew stream without audio issues? I don't think so. Josh is saying, I remember a con where Zach and Garibaldi repeated the story how the first part of this episode got into it, and it was Zach joking about how the main cast uniforms fit and the other uniforms were all backy. Ended up being written in. Oh, okay. So like the main cast had fitted uniforms, but all the guest star people had less snug uniforms. That's fun.
And you could take that as a metaphor for Zach. The uniform doesn't fit him, and he's feeling like he doesn't fit anywhere.
Happy coincidence?
I don't think so. I think it was written intentionally that way.
Well, Jeff, what were your thoughts about this episode?
I think we're feeling that we're getting the feeling rather that the Earth government is tightening their grip. They're going to out people that are against the current regime. You have Night Watch taking over more. Zach's caught in the middle, and hey, I think you nailed it this week. Pretty well.
I did.
In fact, you did so well. You got all three main points, I think, of this episode.
I'm honestly surprised.
And Jakar.
Yeah. Which means I'm going to get nothing about next week, but
well,
this week.
That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
Can't win them all. Yeah, Dolores would be proud.
We're seeing the story progress. They're seeking out first ones to help against the shadows. We know the war's coming. Things are starting to wind up. And Jakar is trying to get into that inner circle. He wants to help. He wants to get help for his people. So I think you're seeing a lot of these storylines intertwine now. And it's done expertly. This was a good episode, and just a pointer towards better things to come, even better than what we got now.
Oh, and in the chat, for the record, it said, hello, my fellow citizens. That video you have seen, I order you not to believe it, even if it is true. Now smile.
Melphis says,
from President Clark.
The next episode, it's a really dude episode. I think he means good.
I think so too. I think that's a spelling error.
Maybe.
What's the name of that Assassin's Narn group?
Oh, I don't remember. Somebody in the chat probably could help us with that.
There's a long time ago. I remember y'all put in the Discord somewhere an image making fun of that guy. He's like, they say you'll do this, they say you'll do that, and then you'll eat pie, and then you'll pie, which I believe is a spelling error, but we don't. But we in this group make sure we do exactly what we're told. Yeah,
Now,
the Thinta Makur.
now you were saying quite a few times that you thought the Sigma 957 aliens would come back.
I did. I did
Now,
not
you didn't
expect
guess that
them to
this
come
time.
back as a tiki head.
Well, it's quite interesting that they appear the way they did, because it did look like they were like a Native American totem or an African wooden figure.
All
The
right.
Vorlons have been to Earth. Maybe some of the other first ones have also gone to Earth, and maybe the other planets as well, like Membar or Narn, Centauri Prime. Maybe they are influencing the other races, the younger races. And Omni says it's Mr. Zog to you.
It was also interesting that the shadow spiders seem to be closely observing that planet, the Sigma 957 Alpha.
Sigma 957.
Sigma 957. Yeah, so because when Ivanova went there in the machine, she gets to the planet, she's looking around for them, and she's almost immediately found by the shadow spiders, which I'm just gonna assume it's them. I swear they had the same eye arrangement and the light up, the diagonal and the red and
Jameis said it was supposed to be the shadows.
okay. So it was interesting that they almost immediately find her, which to me says that whatever means that this device uses for her to travel these pathways are being closely observed.
Mm-hmm. And it's more than just a vision that she's having. She must have some sort of physical manifestation wherever she's traveling for the shadows to know that she's there.
And they know her name.
They know her name, which is interesting. What's that going to lead to? I wonder.
Yeah. One of the points they made earlier in the season was that, no, I'm sorry, it was the finale of the last season, was that as long as the shadow spiders believed that no one is going to take them seriously, they're not going to make any moves yet. So we're safe. So even though the Vorlon, what's his name?
Kosh.
Even though Kosh revealed himself, it's going to slip past their radar because they think that no one knows about them yet. Roberts is saying dust to dust, Kiefer gets recombobulated. I don't know.
Could be. We'll see.
And so it was a big deal that right after that, we see their ship plastered all over the news. And now we're seeing that they are aware of Ivanova personally. So I'm wondering how this is going to be accelerating things, that more and more they are seeing that people are aware of them. And I would personally make the assumption, if I was them, that here's this human and she is coming to one of the, are they first ones or are they just almost first ones?
Well, they are called first ones.
Okay.
And
they are.
Omni says, Zog. Greetings, John.
So now we're seeing that these humans are seeking out first ones, which I would think is quite intentional. I'd make the assumption that they're kind of mustering up some forces, perhaps.
Sounds like
so. It's interesting because it's one of these things where, okay, one step forward, one step back. Yes, you managed to get some first ones, on your side ish. But at the same time, you are revealing more of yourself to the shadow spiders.
Double-edged sword there.
If Matthew's a shadow spider, the galaxy is safe. Yeah, I'll be like,
Well,
Commander, I just saw this person. Her name was. It started with a J. Something with a J.
and speaking of names, they told Ivanova to call their name. What are their name, or what is their name?
Did they mention it and I miss it?
It might have been in the signal that they sent out from the White Star, but Omni says Zog. Duh. Well, I don't think Zog is their name, Omni.
They're just trying to
JMS says
introduce
they're the
themselves.
walkers of Sigma 957.
Okay.
And by the way, JMS also said in the news, in the Usenets rather, that Zach was not called in for the night with the political officer
Oh, okay.
to stay
Okay.
the night.
Okay, so yes, it seems like she's definitely like the fact that she didn't bring him in as well. To me, says that she's a bit of a honeypot character. She's specifically
Seems
trying
like
to
it.
get use her feminine ways, if you will, on Sheridan to get on his good side, to get him under her control, sort of thing.
Although, if you think
Thanks.
about it, if she thought that would work, then wouldn't she think, well, somebody else could just influence him also in the same or similar fashion?
Maybe. I mean, maybe she just thinks that highly of herself. I mean,
Maybe.
or maybe it was just if she could get him to just say yes to a simple proposal, as she put it, that act in of itself would give her power over him, because then she'd say, hey, you did something extremely inappropriate, and now I own you.
Say she did as well.
It's less of a deal for her because she's not in a position of authority. Like she could definitely say that he took advantage of her using his position of authority over her. She could claim that he forced himself on her. It could also just be a thing of if she can use this as a way to make a connection with him and be in his life, then maybe she can use that as an entry point to uncovering secrets about him. And Josh is saying Zach likes redheads more than blondes.
Does he?
News to me.
Hmm.
Is Ivanova a redhead?
It could
Does
be
that
a
count?
red herring. He's trying to
Huh.
fake you out again.
Or maybe a gentle spoiler, Josh. Excuse me, Joel. Josh, Joel, one of y'all.
But no, I thought this was a very good episode, leading to something bigger. We've had a couple almost bottle episodes in a row, and now we're getting a bigger episode. This was actually supposed to air the prior episode, before the prior episode, but because of all the effects that they had in this episode, they had to push it back because they couldn't get it all done in time to air in the order that they intended.
So where did they want this one?
Before the last one we watched, the Passing Through Gethsemane.
Oh, so there's flip these two is the intended order.
Yeah, that's the way it was intended, but because of the effects in this episode taking up so much time to produce, they pushed it back an episode.
Okay. I mean, it works. They're still keeping a good continuity even with the episodes switched around. Like I don't feel like there's anything in next week's episode that would be redefined based on my knowledge of this week's episode. Yeah, I think
Well,
that sentence makes sense.
yeah, nothing in the last episode is affected by this episode. The last episode was supposed to air after the one we watched tonight.
Excuse me, sorry.
So yeah, it worked out okay, as Omni pointed out.
And I agree with you, by the way. I think this was a fantastic episode. It's interesting to me because we are 6 episodes into season 3.
Five.
It feels like 5. Excuse me. Yeah. So next week will
Yeah,
be 6.
5. Mm-hmm.
It feels like we should be further. And I feel like we should be further not because they've been boring episodes, but because every episode has been so jam packed with stuff. I feel like, well, surely we're like, halfway into the season at this point.
And you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, I bet. Because honestly, this almost feels like a mid-season cliffhanger point.
It does in a way. You're right.
And so we get here and like, well, surely we're around, which looking at the episode list titles, I feel like we should be around War Without End, the 2-parter. Like that's probably our mid-season cliffhanger point.
But
this
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, don't. I'm just talking that. Hey, that's what it feels like it should be. Like, hey, we had this big thing, we had this big reveal. This is the midpoint, and then the second half of the season is going to revolve around this. But no, we're just introducing. Really, here's the plot for this season. But like that's what this was. This was really the season kickoff. Like, okay, guys, let's establish some ground rules about what's going on in Babylon 5. We're going to take 4 episodes because some visual effects things had happened. 4 episodes to show you where we are. We're picking up what people are going through, the establishment of the Rangers, and now we have the White Star, and now we have the main crux. We have the Earth government is becoming totalitarian, and not just like the worst form of totalitarianism. The one in which the government is actively against its population. And if you say anything about the government that's bad or questionable, like not even really bad, but I was actually just reading today how some senator over in the UK, 2023, I think it was, he made a response to someone who's making anti-Semitic comments on Twitter, but his comment, taken out of context, was deemed as anti-Semitic, and the police arrested him in the United Kingdom. And
that's crazy.
I mean, it is. And it seems like that's where we're headed in Babylon 5's universe, where even the suspicion of questioning, not even saying something bad, but even the suspicion of questioning the government is counted as sedition.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to see really for the rest of this season, where the Rangers and Sheridan's team are going to be trying to contact the first ones and get them on their side. We're going to see Zach is unfortunately going more and more of Night Watch, so they actually have not just a mole in their midst, but someone who seemed like a nice guy is shifting toward being a point of, this is our biggest threat, and we can't do anything about it. Like, we're just gonna have to really be careful around him. But I still hope he gets his redemption in the end. But I do feel like tonight's episode was a really big turning point for him. We
Seems
saw
like
at the end.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still hope. We saw at the end that he wasn't willing to rat out Garibaldi completely. They had a fight. He's clearly hurt by being left out from this stuff. and that's pushing him more toward Night Watch's side, but he's not gone yet.
I have to hand it to you, Matthew. You picked out Morden or Cheap Rod Sterling's voice. To prepare for our stream, I listened to 2 Babylon 5 podcasts where they review each episode. They don't watch the episode and talk over it like we do, but they review it. And in both podcasts, there were members on the streams that could not pick out Morden's voice. A lot of them thought it was Bester.
Okay.
And Walter Koenig's voice is so distinctive. I don't know how they got Bester out of that.
Yeah. I'm surprised. So we all know I'm horrible with faces and names, but I tend to be able to recognize voices if I can just hear it by itself. But I mean, I felt like that was a very distinctive sort of Morgan's voice. Like I definitely feel like that was an easy layup.
I'm sorry, Omni. Buster. Thomas says that you're wearing my uniform. I don't know. I don't have a uniform, Thomas. What are you talking about? I'm wearing my I'm wearing my Babylon 5 shirt.
You have a shirt somewhat similar to this one.
A little bit.
Not identical, but just like the similar kind of plattish.
No, reddish. Omni. I said Babylon 5, not Night Watch.
I wonder if they make Night Watch bands. I bet someone on Etsy
probably
makes
do. See?
Babylon 5. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong. Yeah. All Alone in the Night.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Babylon 5 Night Watch armband. Let's see. Babylon 5 Night Watch armband used prop sold. Okay. I was going to be surprised. Like it was on eBay. And I was going to be very surprised. So maybe they exist out there. Maybe some Etsy store. I don't know. I can't look too hard, or else I feel like I'm going to get spoilers just for searching for
you might
Babylon 5 things. Yeah. So I feel like eBay's probably safe to look at.
Maybe. Matthew, will you wear a Night Watch armband? Get 50 extra credits?
Oh, absolutely. I've mentioned I'd chill out for Amazon if they just let me.
Joel says nothing is safe. And Omni says you'll earn an extra 50 credits a week.
That's good money. And that's true, K. Roberts. Why get an armband when you get a cane and top hat? Well, let me make a prediction for next week, and then let's wrap this up here.
Sounds good.
Next week is going to be season 3, episode 6. It is called Dust to Dust. Okay, so here's the thing. I think that next week we're not going to be focusing on the main cast per se. So the same way that we saw in kind of like the Passing Through Gethsemane episode. That episode, we had the main cast in it and they interacted, but the actual driving plot line was someone that we've never seen before and will never see again, basically. So I kind of get the feeling that's what we're going to be seeing this week as well. And that makes it difficult. And I'm fine with that. Like, I think that what he's doing is great. But I kind of get the feeling we're going to see more of those episodes that are focusing on world events and how our characters are responding to them, as opposed to let's really dig into what's going on with the president. So Dust to Dust, how is that going to play in with everyone? Obviously, the phrase "dust to dust" is talking about how the end fate of man is to return to the earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So I think the theme of death, of things ending and transitioning to new things, is going to be in the episode. And feeling like Lanier is going to be the one to focus on that. While it would make a certain amount of sense for Malari to be involved, as he's wrestling with kind of the fact that he's cut everyone off from his life, and it makes sense for Jakar to be involved because everything's going up to flames in his life. I feel like we've already kind of gotten to see what's going with them right now, and Lanier is from the Priest cast, and so it would be interesting for him to be struggling with something ending, maybe with the death of a close friend or loved one. I can't see him struggling with that, though. That's the only problem. And Londo and Jakar get mind swapped? I don't think so, Maleficus. Or Maleficus.
That would be interesting.
It would. I can see Jakar being like, if I committed suicide right now, would that count as killing Londo or not? Would it count as a Narn killing a Centauri?
It says Kiefer's body is recovered and gets cremated into dust.
Yeah, so see, this is the issue. So there's a Voyager episode where it may have even been called Dust to Dust or something along those lines, Ashes to Ashes, where Harry Kim, an alien shows up, and it turns out to be a woman who died that was like best friends / a potential romantic interest of Harry Kim's. And whenever they jettisoned her corpse into space, an alien race picked it up, reanimated it, changed it into their own race. That's how their species reproduces. It's weird. But he had to deal with the fact that his friend was actually gone. And even though she had some lingering memories of her past life, she was a new person. And eventually she goes back with the aliens. So Sci-Fi can do so much with this one simple concept. I don't think I'm going to get this one, guys. The best I got is that Lanier is having to deal with some death in his life, and having to accept that. I think it would be poignant if this was somehow a death caused specifically by Centauri's actions, and how that is going to strain his relationship with Londo, which of course is going to be putting stress on Londo because Lanier is one of the few people that Londo actually respects in a certain level, like has an actual compassion for. And I could see that relationship being stressed, being something that weighs on Londo greatly. So that's the best prediction I can get. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, you could be right on the mark. We'll see.
I could be. We will see. We'll see. But honestly, I think that I used all my rightness for weeks to come, getting so close on this week's episode.
You were really close this week. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it when you were saying all that a few weeks ago about tonight's stream. And Thomas, you said he was wrong.
I didn't get it perfect. I was wrong at some of them.
You were this close. I mean, wow.
I was wrong from a certain point of view.
Well,
Well, guys, we will be back, I believe, to our every week's schedule. I don't think there's going to be anything, at the very least, in any sort of imminent time frame that would keep us from doing this. I'm looking through the next little bit. The closest thing I have would be June 10th, but I'll be back by then, so I think we'll be good. I think we're good for a long time.
Josh says that you still have time to throw out another prediction before you end the stream.
I think the only thing I haven't said yet is that Garibaldi's going to show up with a kitchen sink. So, I think I'll end it here.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and y'all have a great week. We'll see you next week. Take care. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will, and be sure to hit that bell icon to be notified of all the updates I do on this channel. If you want to support the work I'm doing here, then I hope you'll consider becoming one of my Patreons, where you'll get early access to all kinds of videos. And until the next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.